Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Headhunters Live number 54. This is David Stephen Patterson. People just call me DSP. And on today's show, which, by the way, is our very first pre-recorded show.
So not really Headhunters Live, right? Do we have to change the moniker?
We may have to. I don't know. Or maybe we just say
we're
broadcast live. I don't know. We're live right now. We're alive. Well, guys, we have my brother from another mother, the big cheese himself, the big stinky cheese, Neil Lebovitz. And then we also have of course, the best looking man in the business. We also call him Face for obvious reasons. We have Chris Wessel. What is up, Chris?
What's going on, guys?
How you guys doing?
Fabulous.
Good summer so far.
Yeah, we're good. Well, it has been a while since we've done a show. So for those who are watching right now, now we're going to broadcast this live. So we're actually recording this a week before you guys see it. So if you're watching live, still the same rules apply. Comment live, watch the replay, comment replay. All right. The only difference is you'll notice a little bit of a higher production quality because we now have time to edit it before we go live with it, which is pretty cool. Today's show, we have somebody really special, Andrew Shwetzer. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Andrew. If I'm not, feel free to slap me upside the head. He's going to be talking to us about AI and automation for recruiters. And as it turns out, in our pre-show little talk, I found out that Andrew is literally like maybe a 5-minute drive from where I live. So really a small world, huh? Before we dig into the details, though, and bring him on, let's do a couple quick promos. So we are brought to you by Back Office Staffing Solutions. Or as I like to say, if you want to be a boss recruiter, reach out to Boss.
You've always loved that.
I've always loved it.
Yeah.
So just so you guys know, Boss is Neil's baby. If you want to get into contract staffing, temporary staffing, basically get out of the ups and downs and the feast and famine of make a place at 1 month and goose egg the next, place at 1 month and goose egg the next. You want to get contract revenue, but you don't want to deal with the headaches of workers' comp, having to fund the payroll. That's the big one. The insurance, the contracts, collecting the money. Neil's company handles it all front to back. It's a great price. They've got a branded app, so you'll look a lot bigger than you really are to your prospects. So it's a great company. So go to backofficenow.com. Additionally, if you want to get a free training on what's called the gross margin method, go to backofficenow.com/GMM.
Yeah, it's how to improve your gross margin when you're placing temporary. It's really good stuff.
Yep, which basically means more money in your pocket. The recruiters listen to this, and Neil. They're not the brightest. We gotta chunk things down for them.
Nice.
Quick link, more money.
Insult the audience. All right, and guys, for many of you guys know, I run a company called the Digital Headhunter. I'll keep it short and sweet. We build out sales and marketing systems to help you build your authority, help you dominate your market, all that fancy sales. So at the end of the day, I help put more money in your pocket by helping you get clients. All right. So it is a done for you service. So go to realdsp.me/build. All right. And with that said, let's bring on our special guest, Andrew. So Andrew, we're gonna bring you on out of the green room. Here we go. I'll just put you right there in the middle. All right, here we go, Andrew. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. You did say my name correctly.
I did. Okay. So you don't have to drive up the road just a few minutes and come smack me, and then you don't have to do that.
It seems to be the only way to pronounce it. When you say it's rare, how else do people botch it?
Well, some people think that I've spelled it wrong. Like, there should be a C there. So a lot of people put a C and pronounce it Shwetzer.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that is actually the correct pronunciation. But when my family came to America, they removed it, I think, to be less German or something. I don't know.
Were they Swetchers back in Germany, right? So they Shwetted, and you become a Shwetzer if you're doing the Schwetzing.
Just say Andrew
Well, I learned
That's
yeah.
Exactly. How presumptuous do you need to be if you tell me how you spell your name? I'm like, no. You did that wrong. You spell your name like this. Like, how presumptuous you have to be to assume
I get that too. They has to have a Z at the end of my name or a W in there. And I'm like, look, it's more popular, but that's how I didn't mess up my name. I got to spell it.
I don't know much, but I can spell my own name. I got that part down.
Well, we'll start diving in. Andrew, before we dive in, just tell us in the audience, who are you? What do you do? And what do you want to talk about today?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, great to meet everybody. My name is Andrew Shwetzer, and I'm the founder of an AI lead generation and marketing company, which is just my name, Andrew Shwetzer, Shwetzer.com. We build various AI automations for B2B businesses, and the majority of my clients are recruiters. So that's kind of what we really chose to specialize in. I've been doing AI development specifically for about 8 months or so, but part of that, my firm solely did a B2B, B2C marketing, and then just sort of the natural progression, implemented the AI aspect. We've also done capital raising for companies, and I had a small recruitment firm of my own serving the cannabis industry for a period of time as well. I got back into recruitment more recently when a client of mine asked me to build like an Indeed scraper, so they could pull like negative reviews from companies posting on Indeed because they're like a reputation management firm. And I realized, there could be some additional potential cross overlap, and it gave me a reason to get back into recruiting and explore the space again. So from Tampa, Florida, and happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it turns out we were talking before the show, and you live like 5 minutes away from me, basically. Probably not even 5 minutes, actually, if I hurried. Not even 5 minutes.
Will you two become lovers after this?
Well, no, we gotta let's take it slow, man. Come on.
A little like late night talking.
Not like I used to, but I slept like I used to be. Neil, you know this.
This is true.
I'll try to salvage this real quick. By the way, so do you think it might be like a good BD strategy to target companies, compile a list of companies that have bad Glassdoor reviews because they probably have a hard time recruiting, and use that as like a list to prospect? As you mentioned that, I was like, when you were gathering those, I was like, that would be smart, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those campaigns have had the highest response rate and close rate of any campaigns I've ever run for email. Because whenever a company posts on Indeed, we'll go in, we use the AI to find their worst, longest review, and then we'll send it in an email to the owner. And a lot of times the owner will be like, man, because they feel the most pain. So they'll like send it to their HR, and their HR will work with the company. So I think it's actually a good strategy. I had not thought of that.
That's an interesting point too, because like normally we're trying to butter them up real good and not do anything to offend them when we reach out. Instead, you're like, look, dude, this is out here. What do you want me to do something about it? Like,
exactly.
Right. Your candidates are going to thank you for putting them in a place you knew had a crappy Glassdoor rating. They'll love that.
Well, they just had they had the wrong people there in the wrong roles.
That's your spin.
Something
I still
like
don't know if I'd appreciate it
if
I went in there, especially if they see a theme after a while. Like, Chris, why does everyone have a 1.3 rating?
I'm just a turnaround guy. What do you want from me?
Sorry. Yeah.
Back on track, Andrew.
It has to be false and defamatory, not like an actual this hiring manager like came to my house and burglarized my my garage or whatever. It has to be like real defamatory.
Because that happens all the time. The hiring manager comes to one's house and burglarizes their garage.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
No other rooms.
Probably would be a good prospect for something like that if you want to reach out and say, hey, you probably have some trouble recruiting right now. So this broke actually last night at did you guys hear about the Coldplay concert with the CEO of Astronomer? It's all over the interwebs right now. Andy Byron, he's the CEO of Astronomer. He was caught cheating with his chief people officer at a Coldplay concert last night. It's all over LinkedIn today. It's all over X. Basically, the head of the company, it's like a 200-person company, and then his head of HR, and they're both married, and they were caught on one of those kiss cams of the Coldplay concert. Oh my God. Yeah, dude, look it up. So for all of those who are watching this, that might be a good prospect to reach out to because they may have some they're probably looking for a new chief people officer here pretty soon.
Not to digress. Did you ever watch the Jetsons really fast? For those of you who watched it, there was an episode where George Jetson was playing hooky and he went to a baseball game and the same thing happened. The webcam came on him and he got busted. Anyway,
that's what happens. Yeah. But the thing is, so it's so look it up. It's all over the interweb. It's really salacious. But anyway.
So anyway, AI.
AI. So let's start here. And you know, you might be preaching to the choir a little bit because I think a lot of recruiters nowadays realize the importance of using AI and automation. But I guess walk us through like why it's important to start incorporating some of these things as opposed to the way most recruiters, or the way recruiters have traditionally got their business. You know, big email blasts, cold calling, you know, referrals, that sort of thing. What's the advantage of the whole AI, the automation deal?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll preface this by saying if you get a lot of business through referrals already, or it's like you have a very, very strong like personal network, that's going to be a big differentiator in the sort of AI age.
Hey, Andrew?
Yeah, he's frozen for a second. Good look on his face. Looks like he's pondering.
Dramatic pause.
Oh, there we go.
Missed a major nugget.
For a second.
Yeah, you're right now. You're like you froze for a minute.
You're back.
We got you.
Okay. So I was saying, like, if you get a lot of business from referrals and personal network already, like that's the place you want to be, because that's one aspect you can't replicate with AI. People are always going to want to do business with other people who they trust. But if you get a lot of business through email, cold outreach, kind of, DMing LinkedIn, you pretty much, like, if you're spending the 10 minutes to go research and find one candidate and reach out to them and like think of a clever, hook and all this sort of thing, like another company can already do that, to 1,000 candidates in like 5 minutes. So it's just a matter of leverage. Your volume won't be able to compete with companies and recruiters who are using AI to already, do mass personalized email and outreach and sourcing and vetting and screening and things like that. What's less likely to be automated initially and then it doesn't necessarily benefit from it is like the heart to heart with certain type.
The suspense is killing me.
When I get when my thing's frozen, you ever notice I look like this?
Very much.
He looked good.
Joke's face usually,
There you are.
Oh, there you go. Back in.
Yeah.
Go back about 30 seconds.
I'll turn down the.
That's fine.
Really? Oh man. Okay. I'm gonna turn down the resolution of my camera. See if that helps. So where did I cut off?
Right around. It's about like the last 20 seconds. Basically, we're talking about I believe it was something about trying to compete against recruiters who are being able to scrape like thousands of leads using AI or something along those. It was right around there.
And then like the heart to heart with the hiring manager, you can't really replicate that. And then
yeah.
Exactly. Okay. If it happens again, I'll see if I can move closer to a router. But so it's going to be much harder to compete with recruiters using AI because they can do that personalized research and outreach and initial getting the ball rolling with candidates or hiring managers at scale 1,000 times. And AI enables them to basically come off like a lot of research was done, or like you could basically, like I could write a really researched, well done email. And if I have the right like AI system and prompts, like AI can do the same thing. Like it used to be kind of iffy before, whereas like you could tell that it was AI writing it, or it wasn't really, there was still, it was maybe like 7 out of 10, but now it's at the point where it really is, it can be 10 out of 10. Just give it enough good examples. You can send that, that email that you spent an hour on 1,000 times in 5 minutes.
You want to know what's cool?
I would say leverage.
Andrew, what's really cool is Grammarly, which, I finally have upgraded to it because they're in the AI ages or whatever. They have a humanize feature, which actually takes the stuff and removes any of the patterns and what have you that typical AI do, which you might not notice reading it, but subconsciously people, there's something they're going to pick up on the cue. So that's a really great feature.
And Andrew,
of AI, what I feel bad for is for people who use M dashes normally, because you know how M dashes are now. It's like you see an M dash like, oh, AI. So funny thing is, I do know a couple people who are like, well, I use M dashes because they know good grammar.
I used to use them all the time, and I stopped doing it because of that. It's like,
gotta stop.
I went back to them because they're powerful. But I'm with you.
Yeah,
but I use them all too.
Well, but anyway, sorry. It's good, Chris.
No, so Andrew, you were saying about how like if a recruiter's like really networked and stuff like that, that's hard to replicate with AI. But I think still, even if you're really well networked on the BD side, you still need that speed to market on the candidate side. So like I'm a full desk recruiter, been doing this for a while, and I got my honey holes. I got my referrals. I got my repeat clients. I don't do a lot of like cold new prospecting. But when you get a new search, you still gotta reach out to a bunch of people quickly, right? And so if it takes me like a few days to do it or a day to do it, even with like a VA's help or something, you know, if you can accelerate that part, then you're in contact with, you know, candidates quicker. You get the job done quicker. You move on. You build something else, right? So like even if you get the best like network ever for your jobs or job orders, I think you still need something like that accelerant like that on the candidate side.
Well, also, I think for me, the way to look at it, like using AI like this, I'm a big believer in using AI for automation systems and sales marketing, or even for writing, all that kind of jazz. And I tell you what, it really, like, I think it allows you to be more human with your process, because you're not having to spend time sourcing and scraping and researching, and all this stuff's done for you, so you can actually spend more time, ideally, on the phone, real conversations. Back when I started doing search back in around 2000 or so, it was with management recruiters. So I was an MRI guy. Many of you folks kept from that background as well. And the biggest thing we were told, because we had a phone tracker, tracked our phone time from the moment we picked up to the moment we hung up. And basically the rule was 4 hours phone time every single day, you're making six figures. Back when six figures actually meant something. But it's hard to do that because you have a lot of other time that you're spending email and researching and yada yada. And so now with AI, it actually makes it even more possible to spend more phone time and more Zoom meetings or whatever it is with your prospects than ever. And there's really no excuse at this point.
It gets you to the conversation faster, right?
That's
exactly
right. That artificial intelligence makes it more real, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, let's.
That's not even Neil. That's actually an AI bot that is created. That's why it looks different than in previous weeks. I'm sorry.
So, all right. So let's do this. Let's talk about how, like, the specifics of how you can use AI. So one of the things that you were showing us before was Clay. Now I like Clay. I like Clay's awesome, but I know that a lot of people who are watching this don't know. I'm sure a lot of people maybe have heard of Clay because it's become like a big thing, but a lot of people really don't know a lot about it. So can you describe to us like what this tool is, and then we can share your screen and you can show us how, like, some tips and techniques on how you use it for your prospecting.
Yeah, absolutely. So Clay is essentially
right on the money.
Oh line. Man.
Types of sources.
Clay is essentially where you left off.
Wi-Fi. Okay. Clay is essentially a spreadsheet that how do you describe it? It's like a spreadsheet that's enabled by AI. So let's say that I've got 100 candidates on that spreadsheet. I could use AI to research all the candidates, or I could, use it to write a personalized email line to all 100 candidates using AI, and to like reference the different rows. And it's basically a very smart Excel sheet or Google sheet.
Well, if you want, I can share your screen here. I know that if you could hit the little share button on the bottom and share it up, and I'll put it up on the screen. Let's check it out.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, guys. I play around with Clay. Clay can be pretty intimidating at first because there's a lot to learn, and it's because it's almost like a Legos, I guess you can say. So much you can plug into it and do, which makes it, again, kind of complicated because you got to be able to figure out like how to put things together. It's not like quite plug and play, right? But let me see. Oh, here we go. Ooh, a little recursion.
I love that.
Oh, beautiful.
Whoa.
Beautiful.
It always freaks me out.
Recursion was my word of the day, and I finally got a chance to use it. Yes.
How is a recursion different than an inception? I don't even know.
Also, great movie.
Well, recursion is one within another, within another, within another. Right.
Yeah, it's like the endless loop, basically. Right. Getting smaller, 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 smaller.
Amazing. Do you guys see my screen now?
Yep, sure can.
Cool. So the first demo that I wanted to show you with Clay, it's clay.com, is vet thousands of candidates
Can
against
you just
a
repeat
job
that you
description.
froze? The first, you just start again from the clay.
So let me see if it's better inside. How's my audio?
Lovely.
Just go to David's house.
Okay.
You'll be there in a minute.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I think it's the Florida heat. So what we're gonna do here is this can essentially source thousands of candidates. What we can do is screen them against a job description and give them a sample job.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you're still freezing.
On the plus side, you can edit a lot of this, but
We'll edit it with AI.
I'm sorry, guys.
We find all that, but it's okay. We're following.
yeah.
Okay, let me know if it freezes up again. Okay, so what we're doing here is
You said it could match specific stuff to the hiring manager of the job. That's where you were.
Yeah, so what this can do is we can source thousands of candidates at one time. We can screen them against a job description and give them a fit score based on how closely that candidate matches the job description. So I prepared a sample job description here, .NET developer, 7 years of experience with .NET, Azure DevOps, and has experience with Microsoft Azure. So if we go into the Clay table here, what we can do is do a search for those criteria. So the certification, let's go Microsoft.
Is that something you put
Azure.
in Clay design for specifically sourcing?
So this is specific. This is within Clay for sourcing a profile. So I believe this connects to LinkedIn, LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and probably a couple other platforms.
Cool.
So you can input the keywords here. I like to go in the bio and add, see if this comes across any, comes up on the profile. So DevOps, and then we will do location of, I don't know, let's say Tampa, Florida. Let's see here, DevOps. Oh, excluded cities. We need to include it. So it got us about 206 results for all this criteria here. We're going to import it. So now we have 200 candidates within the Tampa area that had .NET, Microsoft Azure experience, and DevOps. So what we see here is it enriches their profile, gets the company name, their job title, location, their LinkedIn profile.
Does it get contact info?
Yep. So you get their work email.
Now can Clay pull in the LinkedIn profile, or do you need like an extension for that?
It can pull in the LinkedIn profile as well. So we should find it right here. So it pulls the whole LinkedIn profile. We can find the work email. This is a waterfall. What that means is it'll go and search one email enrichment platform. It doesn't find it. It'll search the next one.
Why is it not showing the emails or the phone numbers here?
For this one, it's because, let's see.
Not to put you on the spot. No big deal. I just thought.
No, just anybody would be curious though. So makes sense.
Okay, because I only had it run for people who had a fit score of above a 94% because that just saves us credits. But if we were just to not run it,
I'm going to use credits on you.
Exactly. So that's the thing with this platform is credits can ramp up quickly. So one of the skills is making sure that you can efficiently use credits. So we have it queued here, and it's going to go and look for the work emails now.
Now, how did you figure out the fit score? Is it done by, do you like, I guess, bring in the candidate's information, like their LinkedIn or whatever, and then it runs like like ChatGPT, like prompt, comparing the job description to the resume? Is that how it works? Or
yeah, great question. So that's what this, sorry to interrupt you. That's what this column is here. Mm-hmm. So if I edit it, we can see that it's actually basically ChatGPT in a column on a spreadsheet. So we give it context. You're an expert at researching candidates and gathering information. You're going to use their LinkedIn and their rich profile. Your goal is to assess from 1 to 100. And then I'll actually input the job description here. So,
but let me ask you something. Since ChatGPT has a memory, why can't you avoid these credits? Why can't you just go into ChatGPT? You can say that for a lot of software, but why can't you go into that, put the job description, here's a job description, here's the list of people, and have them do it there and not use credits?
That's a good question. And actually, you can attach your OpenAI account to this so that you use your normal ChatGPT credits, and it becomes like the cost becomes minimal. There's very little cost associated because you can add your own API key here. The reason why you wouldn't do it directly in ChatGPT is like you're gonna post 200 candidates one at a time in your ChatGPT box, and just not as efficient.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. So you can see here we get different fit scores, and I have it sorted by score, and it'll give a reason for the score. So this person got a 78, and it'll tell us why. So this, candidate has 15 years of experience in software development. They have .NET, Azure DevOps, and it gives a reason why it's, a 78. So main gap is there's not explicit experience with JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. But they're a good fit, but they may need some verification. So it kind of gives like full description of why each candidate scored what they scored. So for the list that we pulled, like 78 was the highest, so we probably wouldn't even want to contact any of these candidates. So we do another search.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
It does make sense. And then I see you got a personalization outreach as well. Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Yeah. So this is just an example. You probably want to tailor this to to the way that you typically email candidates, but you can also have it write a personalized email as well, a personalized outreach email. And essentially do the same thing here.
Does it give you the option to, if you want to make tweaks to individual ones before you send them out, you can do that? Like I know some apps will do that, where like you have a batch of like, it fills in the fields and all that stuff. And so everybody's more or less getting the same message. But if you look on it like an individual person, like I think Interstellar does it and some others, where you can make a couple of tweaks to that person's message and send it.
Mm-hmm.
You do that.
You can do that.
Okay. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
How does it output all this to an email server when you get all that? Or is he doing it one at a time here?
So you can actually, Clay has a native integration with Instantly, which is one of the main email platforms that I like to use. So you can add it to a campaign automatically. And also,
does that help you with like blacklisting issues and stuff? Like, does that help?
So if you have a blacklist, you can just import that blacklist into.
I'm sorry, I meant like you being blacklisted. Like, does this help you with like going through Instantly or whatever? Is there an advantage to doing it through here so that like you don't? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that's a concern for a lot of recruiters, like their domain getting blacklisted and having to use alternate domains and stuff. Is it messaging it through here? Is there some protections that kind of come with going that route? Does that make sense?
Yeah, great question. So the whole deliverability and blacklisting is its own topic. Like what we do is we will. Can you hear me now?
Yep, we hear you now.
Okay. So the whole like blacklisted domains and deliverability, that's a whole other topic. But yeah, we definitely do not recommend sending emails from your current domain. Like what we do is we buy like 20 domains, and we will buy 70 emails and then put them into Instantly. They've got a good infrastructure for that, so it's not as like complex or complicated as it sounds. But yeah, you generally don't want to send emails from your company domain because it's just too easy to.
So use one of your other domains for this. Okay.
Correct.
Mhm.
Exactly. So this is just one way to do candidate sourcing at scale and quickly just find, who are the top 10 candidates for this role. Now, how to, recruiters say it saves them, 10 hours. This sort of system.
Now, a question I was in this is where are you pulling the candidate information from? Is it pulling it like when you're sourcing and looking for keywords? Is it pulling from LinkedIn, or is it always using other sources like GitHub or what sources is it using to pull that data in?
So for this, it's we're sourcing of LinkedIn.
Okay.
For this specifically, but there's other ways that you can import data into Clay from different sources. But I just found like the LinkedIn is the most straightforward.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So in this then, in essence, let's be on the candidate side. What about say the client side? Let's say I want to reach out to prospects. What would be how would you use Clay for that? I mean, obviously personalizing that, but beyond that, like using how would you go about putting up or setting up a campaign?
Yeah, great question. So there's a couple. It's a great question. There's a couple ways you can do it. One is using job posting data. So if you see, the traditional way that recruiters do BD is they'll see who's posting on Indeed and then reach out to the hiring manager and do all the research. So I'll show you how you can actually do that using AI and at scale. So you go to a site called appify.com, and they have all these different website scrapers, including Indeed. So let's do a search for Indeed. Have this Indeed scraper here. And here's where you search for whatever role that you want to build a list of. So let's say machine learning engineers, and then I'll run this. So basically what this is doing is it's scraping Indeed for a list of all machine learning engineer roles in chronological order. So once that list is built, you can actually have it be automatically added and imported into Clay here. So we'll do that. LinkedIn Indeed scraper, go. Now what we're doing here is importing all of the machine learning engineer roles that we just pulled through this appify.com scraper here. So what this row is doing is it's finding the CEO, founder, or decision maker off of that Indeed job. So it's the Indeed job here. And it's going to go and enrich their information, get their name, title, and just enrich as much detail as possible here. And then it's basically a very similar process to the candidate sourcer. We have the company description that we use AI to generate. We use AI to determine what the person's role is at the company. So, Madeline McDonough is the human resource coordinator at the Grand Street Group. Her role involves managing HR functions, et cetera, et cetera. And then what we'll do is we will do another personalized icebreaker message here that relates the hiring manager with the company. So, and then it will go and grab their email and enrich it as well. So pretty much everything that you need to reach out to the person at scale. So it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, awesome.
That is neat. That's neat. Well, what other? So I know we do jobs. One of the ways that I like to reach out, at least for me, it's always been a good signal or a good trigger for reaching out to prospects would be say like a role change. Let's say Bob Jones VP starts a new role at ABC company. Well, I'll reach out to Bob Jones at ABC company, and because oftentimes when somebody starts a new position, they have to make changes, make new hires, make fires, and of course you can always reach out to the company that he left as well to backfill that position. I'm pretty sure Clay does track that stuff too, right? That we'll do like triggers or signals based on like role changes, I believe.
Yeah, I believe it does. I've never used that feature, but let's see here. Job changes. Yep. So you can track that signal.
That is pretty neat. So, so beyond this, so this is pretty neat stuff here. Obviously, it looks like it's fairly complicated, so it takes a bit to set up. Is this something that somebody could do out of the box?
I would say yes. Like what you can do is just. So I'm actually going to be sharing with you the template for this. So you can just, if you have Clay, you can import all of these enriched rows already. So I'll share that.
Oh, cool.
Building from scratch, it takes a little bit of technical knowledge, understanding how like to connect APIs to tables and stuff like that. It's like beginner level dev stuff, but
hey, Andrew.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. We lost you for a minute there, or for like about 10 seconds. All right. So beyond that, let's talk about, I guess, how you'd implement this. I'll take it off share here for a second. And where are we at here? There we go. Oh, cool. We already got it. Cool. So beyond that, so what are some of the pitfalls that somebody needs to look out for? So if you're implementing, like, say, a system like Clay or really any other major automation system, what are some of the things to watch out for? Because I know from personal experience, right? If you set up automations, it's easy for stuff to go like this, right? And then next thing you know, you're sending the wrong email to the wrong person, makes you look bad. So what pitfalls do we need to avoid?
For Clay specifically, what you want to make sure is that you are using your credits efficiently. So not using like it's very easy to quickly deplete your entire Clay credit queue because you enrich 10,000 candidates in the US, for example. So you have to be very careful about how you do that. But there's a lot of, like, you just look it up on, there's a lot of YouTube videos and stuff like that that will show you how to do it. I would also say make sure to check. Don't just let the AI like blindly send emails. Make sure you check quality controlling. Okay, like these are the quality of emails going out. If it's plus minus 10%, I'm okay with that. And usually that's kind of what it is. And sometimes you also have to accept that people are gonna receive just a stupid message that makes no sense, and they're gonna be like, "What is this? Like, this makes because it's personalized. They're like, this is personalized and it's stupid." Like, so like you have to be careful of, but like as long as you can accept that, that's gonna happen sometimes. This is, it's the pros outweigh the cons. But yeah, just be careful with the credit usage if you're using Clay, and then also quality control.
Well, the one thing I noticed with AI, and it's getting better nowadays with that, but one of the things that sometimes I'll get an email where I can tell it's personalized. I know there's an AI for it. I get that, but I've had some before that are just gushing. They're like, "Oh my God, that's amazing what you do!" There's exclamation point. I'm like, and so the way I think about it is, if you're personalized a greeting, like think about it, you're meeting somebody at a conference. Like, would it be weird for you to meet somebody the first time and say, maybe there's research about them, but then to say, is it better to say, "Hey, oh yeah, I heard you did this podcast," or "That's pretty cool," or like, "Oh my God, what you do is amazing." Like it's weird. Like, don't be weird, I guess is probably the main thing, right?
Yes.
Because people can tell, and it's just off-putting.
Yeah, especially when you get that message that says, "I'm super impressed with what your company is doing in this space."
I know, all the time.
I'm like, okay, number one, like, there's what's even out there? I don't even post much, right? Mm-hmm. So what the hell are you talking about? But then what's kind of funny, and I wish you could do this with like an AI tool, maybe you can, is whenever you message, if it could just somehow view all their profiles, right? Because one of the things that makes me nuts is I'll get this, not makes me nuts, but I think it's ridiculous. I'll get this thing I'm really impressed with, and it'll reference a bunch of things in my LinkedIn profile, and I know what's happening there. But then I'm like, but you also didn't actually look at my profile. So like,
yeah,
I know, like, and I'm not sure everyone's going to put that together, but it just adds to like the level of disingenuous if you're just like over the top, like David said, with like, it's amazing the stuff that you're doing in this space, and you're like, really? I don't even.
Well, I get that. They think I'm a staffing agency. So they tell me how awesome I am, how impressed they are with my journey. And then they talk about how they could help my staffing firm improve whatever. I'm like, yeah. Wrong company, wrong type.
And if you don't come on so strong, I feel like you have maneuverability. right? Like if it's like David said, if it's a little bit more conversational, like you would say to someone at a conference, or if you met them in person, like, oh, I've heard of you. I understand you do this kind of stuff, right? I hear you got a good reputation. Like if you commit too quick with all the over the top compliments and you miss, I feel like it's like you're playing a sports, your defense and they just blew past you. There's no turning back, right? Versus like, if you could start a little more open-ended where like, if you were wrong, you can maneuver.
Exactly. And also one thing as well, because of personalization, with the rise of these AI tools, I think that the biggest amount of personalization you never do is to call somebody. So if you use AI to send these messages and whatnot, but then maybe for your tier one prospects, the ones that are most high, the ones who are maybe most valuable, or maybe if you're tracking link clicks, for example, maybe the ones you click on link or whatever happens to be, but whether it be an engagement sort of trigger or just the higher value prospects, but you send an email and then drive a call, leave a voicemail to them. And now it's really personalized. And so I think, just as I said before, using AI like that can actually help you have more time to make those cold calls, when before you wouldn't be able to make the cold calls because you're too busy scraping and put together emails. So in reality, this should get you on the phone even more, in my opinion.
Yeah, get on the phone quicker.
Me coming out. Get on the phone, newbie. All right.
Exactly.
Well, that said, let's talk about where people can find you. So you mentioned that you got a clay, you said a clay table you wanted to share?
Yeah, I'll share the template. You can just log into your account and upload it, and it'll automatically show up with all of the prompts, everything installed. You just have to add your own OpenAI account to it, but
perfect.
It'll work immediately.
I'll tell you what, if you say, send me the link, and then I'll make sure we post the show when we run it live. We'll make sure that it's going to be in the first comment right there. So guys, if you're watching this right now, check in the first comment. You'll see the link in there, as well as the link to Andrew's LinkedIn. I'm going to go ahead and put it here on the screen as well for you visual folks. LinkedIn.com/IN/TXFL. I'm assuming FL is Florida. What's the TX for? Is that Texas?
Well, I had a client who asked me a while back to go and buy the TXFL, the Texas Football League. It's his company, and we never transferred it over. So I have TXFL as my LinkedIn now.
I think you can change them if you want to.
You can?
I think so.
That's easy. It's short.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. TXFL. In fact, do you remember the XFL?
You don't want to do Shwetzer because you might spell it wrong.
Actually,
exactly.
Do you remember Vince McMahon's XFL? It was like an NFL spinoff. Yeah,
yes.
That was entertaining. I'll give it that.
What the UFC founder, whatever, just sold it for what, $4 billion or something absurd.
Oh man, he earned it. He earned it because he took a real C. It was nothing. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But check it, Andrew. And what can you help with, Andrew? Like in terms of I guess consulting and help set up some of these clay tables for clients.
Yeah, no, we do B2B systems. So email, anything can grow into email, clay tables, like scrapers, things like that.
Excellent.
Okay, so not necessarily like a specific tool you're offering so much as like the ability to help people make the most use of these tools depending on their needs. So that's really appealing because I feel like instead of like we have this AI tool that does everything for recruiters, it's like, okay, let me figure out what you need for your practice, and we can maybe something you're already using, pull in something you never heard of, we'll put it all together. So that's really cool.
I appreciate that. Yeah, exactly. It's called, so there's a new term that's coming out. It's called like Chief AI Officer. Companies will hire a person who understands like different AI processes to digitize and figure out how to implement AI in their business. So we're seeing there'll probably actually be a lot of recruiters specialized in that.
It'll be funny when AI takes over that position. It'll be AI Chief AI Officer.
Because I can see there's so many offerings, and like you just gotta I guess you go out, you pick one, and hopefully it works. And then as we all know from recruiting, the out of the box software almost never works for any company that buys it for anything. And so this is no different. So this is a great route to go. I might talk to you myself.
And then of course,
Absolutely.
Skynet gains sentience, and the next thing you know, in 10 years, we're all in this wasteland apocalypse. But yeah, whatever. But that said, all right. So go find Andrew on LinkedIn. Also, by the way, don't forget, if you want a free training in the gross margin method, that's basically put more money in your pocket, go to backofficenow.com/GMM. And I have a cool, handy guide. If somebody wants to copy my free guide, The Art of the Killer Sales Call, a no bullshit guide for recruiters. It's basically how to run, not cold calls. I'm thinking about cold calling. It's actually once you get a sales call with a client, how to then run that call to make sure you're getting engaged, fees at a bare minimum, exclusivity, etc., and getting away from just pure contingency. Go to realdsp.me/killer-sales. Make sure you include the links for those in the bottom as well. All right, Andrew, thank you very much for being on, man. That was a good show.
Yeah, thank you. Good stuff. Very helpful.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right,
Really
guys.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Hopefully the internet will be better next time, but thank you.
Thank you. And guys, again, if you're watching this, if you're watching the replay on this one, comment replay. If you're watching the live broadcast on this, comment live. Give us some love because we need your emotions. I don't care if it's bad emotion. We just need your emotion
we need your validation.
the almighty algorithm. The almighty algorithm. All hail the almighty algorithm. And with that said,